Hello and welcome to the Rebel Republic, only on 97.9 Unity Radio. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, and Coach Schuman is apparently frozen again, as he tends to do. He just freezes in time, and nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. But the good news is I am here to save the day. I am here to save the day. And with me, as always, the voice of reason himself, Frank, the man, Cristiano. Frank, you're eating oranges.
I'm just here to entertain. I'm not here to save anybody.
Okay.
I'll give you sound advice.
And then,
Frank, are you exhausted yet?
No, Frank doesn't get tired. He's a cyborg.
I was on that podcast with the national championship game. I took off.
Yeah, that's right. You did take off.
You were gone too.
Dave
was gone.
It took Dave 4 hours to put his kid to bed.
Oh, I wouldn't go to sleep.
Yeah, it drove me nuts. And Tyler saved the show. Tyler had like 1,600 viewers on by the time he came on.
Tyler King, the
One
Marauder.
of a kind. Tyler equals ratings.
Oh, not sports. Hold on.
So I wanted to ask because Trump initially stated about the illegals on the border and repealing the act that if you're born in the States that you can stay or whatever. This past weekend, the number of illegals crossing was down by half. 600
Because
as
you're
compared.
get set back.
600 compared to 12 to 1,400 on average during the Biden administration. First of all, that's unfathomable to me.
Yeah.
How can you have probably 2,500 people crossing the border a day? A day! And they just let them? I'm asking.
Is that a question for me or for Frank or?
It's for anyone who can answer me because I have no knowledge on this. I'm trying to learn and be educated.
I'll take a first crack at it. Biden purposely was doing it. They were in, and they're
Purposely?
Absolutely.
purposely. They thought it would change the voter demographics in the Democrats' favor, which it didn't.
Really?
And if you look at the states that voted Kamala, they're the only ones with no voter ID laws. So you figure that out. I'm not gonna say that they may not have gone blue anyway because it is those are generally the heaviest blue states, but it doesn't help. And then the great thing about what Trump's doing is ICE and Homan are doing their job. And the greatest thing of all, as soon as I see those people out there protesting, I think, wow, you know what? They're all in the same place. That's pretty easy to round them up and get them the heck out. So any of those illegals that are all in the same place that are protesting, they better hope it's just these college students. And I tell you, these people in Dallas, if they're protesting and they're in the road and I got to get somewhere,
You're running them over.
I'm running them the hell over.
The hell over.
You're damn right I am.
No
Get
chance.
out of the way. I'll give you a couple attempts. I'll honk the horn for you. I'm going to give you every opportunity to get out of the way. And then I'm coming.
You're coming.
I'll try and go around you if you give me a window. Like a running back, try to squeeze through a hole. But if there's no hole to squeeze through, I'll run you over.
Okay. Now, Frank, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Can you explain to me the whole TikTok situation? Why it got shut down and then why it got turned back on?
Well, through American government, we've held hearings and meetings and investigative queries, and all of a sudden they've come to the determination that ByteDance, which is the owner of TikTok, is actually being supervised by the Chinese Communist Party. And so
That's not good.
US, well, everyone has your information.
They do.
Whether it's the Chinese Communist Party, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Facebook,
So
whether it's Google.
They know certain things about me?
They know everything about you.
Oh boy.
So, bottom line, I mean, they voted or had a vote that they wanted to have the ownership of TikTok divest and sell to what they considered a reputable ownership.
They want TikTok
obviously
to sell.
Would be an American group American led groups.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the groups want to buy this not to protect the citizens.
No, to make money.
Yeah, they need the algorithm.
Yeah.
That's what they need. They don't care about the people, the citizens. You think they give a shit?
No, they want
what goes out. No, they want what they could not produce here in the U.S. We are the producers of technology. We don't make it. We just come up with the ideas and we sub it out. So,
could we get some money to get a loan to buy TikTok?
No, it would be a little bit outside of our range.
It would be.
Okay. I know. It was I think it's a $25 billion offer to purchase TikTok. So
that's a lot of collateral.
I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm not wrong on my.
Well, numbers. If we put up the pizzeria and a couple other places,
yeah, that'll come up with like $8.
Oh, okay.
So, and the idea is, they want to purchase it and keep it, like if you ever watch Shark Tank.
Yes,
Mr. Wonderful, Kevin Leary, he's part of a group looking to purchase it. I think what you'll see ending up happening is, and in the beginning, Trump was against it as well.
He was.
But then Trump 100%. Used it, and so now he loves it. So now he's going to try to save it. Remember, when TikTok went down,
he became
people were having a stroke, and then TikTok went back up like 8 hours later.
He was a hit.
And TikTok thanked President Trump. Thank you so much, President Trump, for
negotiating.
I'm sure he made sure they put that in there. So I think what will happen now is you will see a dual ownership. I don't think you'll see ByteDance sell the whole thing. No, it'll be a Chinese company and Americans maybe in a 50-50 partnership owner-wise, so at least everything can be on par and kept the same. So it's very relevant at this point. What's relevant is this. It's week one. And you've seen this president
do more
in 1 week than Joe Biden, his administration, did in 4 years.
Yes.
The press conferences he has given.
He hit the ground.
The speeches he has given, the rallies he has led, the visits that he has done to the affected areas by disasters in this country.
Yep.
That he has made.
Wildfires.
The statements that he has made. North Carolina too with the floods.
North Carolina with the floods.
The statements that he has made to direct people to understand where the weak parts of this government and the weak parts in this country are. I mean, right off the bat, and a ton of executive orders.
Leadership.
I mean, a ton of executive orders that are going to lead to a lot of progress in this country. Of tightening up the ship a little bit, stop letting it be so loose and run by too many people that don't have interests of the country but have their own personal interests,
self-interest.
Self-interest.
But you said greed is good.
What's that?
You said greed is good.
Greed is fantastic.
Yes,
but greed needs to be reined in when it's not just your greed.
Okay.
When you're milking off of the country,
right?
That's something different.
Okay,
right? Because the country needs to survive and move forward.
Right.
So we're in a revolution right now. I'm a couple things. That whole dreamers where if your son or daughter was born here but you're not a citizen, that'll get shot down. Once you're born on U.S. soil, you have citizenship. So I think and he knows it's going to be shot down. He just made promises in his campaign and he's keeping them. The one where he got rid of DEI, I'm all for that. Affirmative action sort of went with that in a way. That I don't like. That I think is something that should be kept because I don't think, especially in higher corporations, I don't think there's a lot of fairness in hiring because it's still a good old boys network. But that's okay. These are small things that can be addressed and fixed. But I think most of the actions you have seen him done in the first week have been sound, rational, and productive moves for this government and our people.
Dave, what do you think about the whole TikTok situation? It was down for a few hours. It came back on.
Yeah.
And now, the world is happy again.
I think that Frank is actually right on the information standpoint. I really think that all of these groups are collecting our information. I'm not saying that any of them have used it yet for nefarious purposes, but maybe they have. But TikTok is no different. So the ban on TikTok, which originally Trump championed, right? Changed his mind as a smart person did, and realized that it was all these groups, and um, and became a hero in this situation. I think so far a lot of his decisions and keeping to his campaign promises have been really, really good. I think that visiting, LA, sitting with the mayor of LA, right, challenging her on some things. They know they got to collaborate. The illegals, um, the migrants, and the illegals that are committing crime, they're going to be shipped out. And the
Yeah, it's too many.
countries that don't want to take it back, Colombia didn't want to take them back. They sent them back to America. Trump,
They didn't want to take them back. Can you
yeah,
do that?
Well, they can't do it now because the president of Colombia has realized that the 50% tariffs that Trump was going to lay on the country of Colombia in 1 week would hurt the country too much. So now he's sending the personal presidential plane from Colombia to D.C. or wherever they are to rally up all those illegal Colombians and bring them back to their homeland.
Look,
How nice is that?
Wow.
How nice is it to have somebody step up with a backbone and tell people to go F themselves?
That's right.
Well, we've been missing that for years.
Of course.
We've been missing that for years.
And the other
And
thing that's great
Right.
about it is, I think Frank's 100% right too on the Dreamers thing. That they're born here, as long as they haven't caused any problems or anything, I don't see an issue there. And
But
then,
the parents get to stay, is what you're saying.
well, that's a different issue. So those are two
That's
different.
that's what bothers me.
So if and listen, I don't see them rounding up people that are dreamers whose parents are not causing a problem.
Okay.
I do see them maybe rounding up parents who are causing an issue or are drug dealers or something along those lines, or causing crime, because I think that that's part of what we have to be able to continue to clean up. We have to be able to get a situation. Listen, we got in Dallas, you got protests, all right, that immediately don't want to be deported. Listen, it's pretty simple, okay? If you're not causing a problem, I doubt it's going to be a problem for you. But if you are causing a problem, or you're around someone that is causing a problem and you are illegally here, you are going to get rounded up and you are going to get deported. So I don't think that they're going to spend a lot of time going after illegals that are not causing problems in America. I think they're going to spend most of their time going after gang members, people that are causing trouble, and probably in the beginning, at least, high levels of trouble, meaning crimes. And they're going to get those people out first, and then they're going to see where they're at, and other criminals and those kind of things. Get those people out next, and then you'll probably see if it's fairly cleaned up at that point. There won't be a need to, and those people who are trying to roll in here and illegally immigrate are going to be discouraged from doing so, because they're just going to be sent back to their country. That's how it has to work. There is a way to become an immigrant in America legally. There is a process legally to do it. The country is built on legal immigration, not illegal immigration. And that's
that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I hate when people use the word immigrants. Are they legally immigrants? Are the people that are already here that went through the process correctly? Then guess what? They're going to be perfectly fine. Okay? Illegal immigrants, people who did not come through the proper channels, no, they possibly are at risk. And I don't see why any person in America does not understand that. I do not see that. Cooper DeJean is not a safety.
I don't know who Jackson's talking about.
Cooper DeJean?
Yeah, you're correct. He's a corner.
It's a corner.
Oh, he's talking about football?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of rebel.
It's like a song. It's like a song like Cooper DeJean is not a safety.
Well, Dave, let me ask you this: if you come over illegally,
Okay.
can you still become a legal immigrant? Is there a process for that, or is it if you come over illegally, you're done?
It's called illegal immigration. Illegal immigration means you came to America illegally.
But I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I want to do it legally now, and I'm already here,
Right
so
here?
maybe I can just stay.
You can. Here's the door. You can walk right out that door and go back to the country that you're
Okay.
in.
So there's no way to do
I
that.
made a
Take care of the
mistake.
process.
No, I'm saying that
I made a mistake. There's no crying in baseball.
You have no empathy.
No,
I want
there
some
is no empathy. No.
We do have empathy.
No.
The dreamers that are here and the people that have not caused problems, we're saying, me and Frank are probably in agreement on this. It doesn't make a lot of sense to waste a ton of time and resources going
Right.
after
Right.
American people that are now here in America, and they're probably illegal, that are not causing a huge amount of problems. The people that are causing problems, you got to go after. And then you have to assess, do we have too many illegals here after that point? If that is the case, then we may have to take more action. But the key is to get the people that are causing problems, the people that are criminals, to get them out first. So in most people's cases, if you're walking around and let's say your job is building houses and your job is to hit the nails into the house and you're illegally here right now, okay, and you're just going to work every day and knocking the nails into your house and not causing a lot of problems, I doubt that you're going to have a huge problem.
But that's why I asked, though. Okay, if I'm one of those good illegals and I'm knocking the nails with the hammer, can I become a legal
Not
immigrant?
right now.
So I have to stay my whole life being an illegal? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Now they may listen. That's
you got to look over your shoulder the whole
The whole
time.
dreamers thing is the path that's and the people that are here already. Is there a path to citizenship? That's part of the
Yes.
Isn't there? That's a police song, isn't it? Living the life of illegal alien. Isn't that? That's a police song.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that song.
So they come over here just to procreate, so their children can be American citizens.
They don't come here just to procreate.
They don't.
They're coming here to better their lives.
To better their lives.
If they're criminals, they're coming here to escape sentence and where they've committed a crime. They're going to come to this country and commit more crimes because that's what criminals do.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to come to this country the last 4 years? Because bottom line,
well, we have no bail.
You commit something and they let you go. You commit something and they let you go, and you keep committing it and they keep letting you go.
Well, it's bail reform.
That wasn't bail reform. That was bail annihilation.
Right.
Right. And they use the cover of racism or of,
they can't afford
missed opportunity. Listen, I understand that in a way, but bottom line, there has to be a way to keep people incarcerated until their trial date is due.
Right.
We have to protect the general public. And how that needs to be done, I don't know.
You don't think they'll stay until they'll try the trial date?
Who's going to stay if you let them go?
Well, they won't want to,
just hang out in jail and wait for their trial?
No, I'm saying if you let them go, don't they want their day in court?
No.
They don't?
No. Because most of them are guilty. Unfortunately, in life, there are instances of people being innocent.
I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know they were guilty.
Most are guilty.
I didn't know.
Most doing it are guilty.
I figured they'd want their day in court.
They don't want their day in court. Absolutely not.
They don't want their day.
No, that's why they don't show up for court. And they go out and commit a crime again.
Right.
That's why ICE is roaming big cities. That's why ICE is along the border right now, all the way across the southern border and the northern border. That's why 1,500 active military troops have been sent down to the southern border to reinforce it and to help them work technology-wise, drones and cameras and sensors and all that to be able to curb people crossing illegally. That's why there's going to be up to 10,000 active military sent down to the southern border to be able to control this influx. Once you've got to cut it off. You have to cut off the stream. Once you cut off the stream, then you can control things and make decisions at a much easier pace. Right now, Remember that? Remember what they used to have? It was the guns thing, with the Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had that plan where they wanted to take away. So they were going in there and they're going crazy. That's what this is initially for the U.S.
Right.
This is a Fast and Furious. Let's get this shit closed,
Let's
make a decision on what we got to do.
Well, Mecca Film says illegals don't deserve the same justice rights as citizens. Do you believe in that? Do they deserve the same protection? Do they deserve to have an attorney present? Do they deserve Miranda rights?
I think as a human, you have to give them some sort of day in court or some sort of idea of what may fall on them. I don't know. That's a great question. They haven't paid into the system.
High BP Sports.
They haven't. And if they're in jail, they haven't followed the laws.
Well, they don't pay taxes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They haven't paid into the system, and they haven't followed the laws if they're incarcerated. So, what relief should they get? I don't know. That's a tough one.
Want me to answer that?
Please.
No.
No. Okay.
No, I do.
Hello, hey Kelly.
I don't think that the illegals deserve the same justice rights as regular citizens.
Can you hear me?
But but I do think on a case by case basis, depending on what the situation is.
No, we're doing Rebel Republic right now.
You know what I mean? So, but for the most part, if they're
I wasn't doing the other one.
If they're accused of doing something, how do you flood the courts if you get a boatload of illegals doing things and giving them, they're not going to have the same rights as American citizens. Now, I think I agree with you. Treat them humanely, but basically, if they're accused of a crime, there's nothing that says that we have to put them through a regular trial. We could just simply say, hey, you know what? We don't even want to deal with this. We can simply say, we don't know whether you're guilty or not guilty. Right. We don't care. You're going back to your country, you know? And I think that's an important thing. Now, if they've done through the process properly, or they're in America on a green card or something where they've gone through the channels of doing it the right way, then I think that you're in a situation where that's a different story. Now, I think they do deserve, if they've gone through the proper channels and they're here on temporary status, you go through the court system and find it. But if they're purely illegals, and something happens where they're accused of a crime, I just don't even think you need to waste time with it. You just deport them, send them back to wherever the country they're from, and nobody's saying you're guilty or not guilty. Why waste the taxpayers' money on it at all? In my opinion, at all. Like, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Now, you can make the argument, I don't know, first of all, most illegals are not going to be setting up businesses. They're not going to be setting up shop. So you're talking about someone that's probably working, sending money back home to their country, you can send them home and say, hey, listen, when you get everything cleaned up, go through it the right way. And then,
depending on the crime, though, too, right? I mean, if they're accused of murder, we want to try them and incarcerate them here in this country, or are we sending a murderer back to their home country? Maybe they don't get the same punishment or justice that we deem fair for the crime committed here in the country.
Good point. Yeah, I could understand that part of that viewpoint. That makes sense. I still think it's like extraditing them to their country and getting them out is, like, we don't want to take. It's one of their criminals. It's not an American, even though they've committed a crime in America, it's their criminal. They should have to deal with this criminal. Now, they may let them back out. They just can't come back into this country. I mean, they're not going to want to, I don't know. Let's say it's a mass murder.
What other countries are there? Like, can you go to England if you want to? Are there illegals in England?
Sure there are.
I'm sure there are, yeah.
There are.
I'm sure there are.
But they're not from Mexico.
Have you ever seen London now?
No, I don't.
London looks like a Middle Eastern country.
It's falling down.
More refugees. A lot of refugees.
Paris is too. I heard Paris is pretty bad too.
Absolutely.
And is there any way that these illegals will come to a point where they'll actually say, I want to stay in my own country. I can make it work in my own country.
Never.
I don't need to leave.
Never. Never.
There's no hope.
Well, I'm sure some will go back because of family more than anything else, but most of them have left because there's no hope in their country.
Yes, I would agree with that. So the
Uh,
problem is look, if we want to help people, okay, let's say people don't know how to legally become an immigrant in the United States other than just running across the border and hoping for the best. There are ways that maybe we could help that process from an information standpoint and what we expect and what it takes. But I mean, listen, there used to be a test you had to take in order to become a citizen of the
yeah.
United
Yes.
States.
It was very important.
You know,
Yes.
for my mother had to take that. You know, my mother's an immigrant, so you know she came over to the United States as an immigrant.
Yes.
They went through the process, right? They had to be sponsored in order to. They had to have a place to go when they got
You
here.
had to have everything lined up before they let you in
They
the
had a
country.
sponsor through the church. The church sponsored them.
Oh,
My
okay.
mother, they came to America. They went to originally to Chicago. Church sponsored Presbyterian church sponsored them. From there they moved to Bolingbrook, Illinois, and they went through their process. And it used to take 10 years for you to become a legal. I mean, my mother wasn't a citizen until 10 years down the line.
Frank, what's your story with your dad and his journey from Italy coming to the States? Where did he go through Ellis Island and then make his way up through Utica?
He did.
Okay.
He was one of the last years.
And it was on one of the boats. They take you over on boat.
Correct.
And they do all the paperwork. And you actually have to have like a sanctuary, like a place to go.
You had to have a sponsor. You had to have a sponsor.
It's called a sponsor.
He came over here and had a sponsor here in Utica, New York. So that's where he started out. But he had met, he had met my mom on the beach that he grew up on back in 1960, 59, 60. And then within a year's time, him and 4 or 5 of his best friends all got together and they just realized they had to get out of the country. Basically, there were 3 things you could do at that time in 1960 in Europe, but in Italy especially, is one, you could be admitted to the army. So 2-year draft. You're going into the army for 2 years. The second was you could work for some region of the mafia. So you could just be a strong arm or a guy who goes around doing jobs for the mafia. The third thing was you can get out of the country. So they all chose the third thing. They all made their plans. So there were 6 of them. 2 ended up going to Australia. 3 ended up going to Brazil. And my father ended up coming here to the U.S. because he met my mom on a beach. He was there for a summer vacation for 2 months. So he met her on a beach and he wrote her letters all the time and through. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm coming over. And basically he's coming over to get married so he can try to stay in the country.
Oh, that's true. Because if you get married, you can stay.
Yeah, right. And
now, isn't that easier? If 2 illegals get married, can they stay?
No, it doesn't make you a citizen.
Oh.
And he worked towards a citizenship and finally became a citizen in 1970. I want to say like 72, somewhere in there. But his story was more like they just had to get out of the country. But that's the story of most immigrants. They get stuck. They have to get out of their country, whether it's crime, whether it's famine, whether it's lack of opportunity, whether it's protecting your family. They have to get out of where they are, and there's no punishment in wanting to come to this country. But God bless it, we need to know who you are when you come to the country. We need to give you a green card, and we need to track where you are. And then you need to work yourself, if you do want to stay in this country, to staying in this country the right way. And that's the bottom line, simple way of it. But we've come to a point in time in this world where too many people are soft.
Very soft.
They cry.
Yes.
They moan.
I cry a lot.
They bitch.
I bitch a lot.
They can't take certain reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't either.
Right. Well, they don't realize, 100 years ago, people were starving.
Yep.
100 years ago, people didn't have anything. Right. So they don't understand this.
What real famine is
like. They don't understand what real struggle is. They don't understand. They end up having the mentality of the people on Martha's Vineyard. That's the mentality they have. We want to help so bad.
They brought
we
clothes.
Feel sad for
they brought
everyone.
Clothes, yeah.
Please let these people go. Well, don't hurt them. They mean well.
Well, they brought them clothes.
You know what?
They wouldn't give them housing.
Then right. Then why don't you take some of them in? No,
they won't take
I can't do that.
That was the funniest thing ever.
That's right. So,
and they were gone within 48 hours.
That's where I would say I think 30% of the country is on that path. I think 30% of the country are just wet vaginas. That's it.
Wet vaginas.
Wet vaginas. Yep.
That's a pretty bold statement.
The tears. It's tears. It's when it's a vagina crying for help. That's what they are. They're literally
bleeding hearts.
Weak in constitution. At
some
point,
you wouldn't be a bleeding heart.
No. Listen, I have compassion for people. I have sympathy for this.
But you're not letting them move into your house.
I'm not going to listen. I don't care if somebody needs a place to stay in. They're all right. They're not going to kill me or my family. I don't care.
Then how come I can't move in?
You would probably kill me or my family. Oh. You have psychotic episodes, okay. And I'm not going to stand next to you.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, 30% of this country has lost their minds totally. 20% of the country are sort of, they're democratic. They believe in some liberal policy, but they're in the middle. They could kind of hang on to reality.
Right.
50% of the country has hung on to reality, and actually, it's 53% of the country.
Right.
That's what ended up being the margin of victory in this country.
Yeah.
So I think people now are waiting for results, and the results are this. The results are this. They're going to be this. There's a change. There's a new sheriff in town. Like him or not, we're going to change direction in the course of the ship. And the ship is going to be going in the right direction for the mass populace. Not for everybody. Not for the ones who are really dreaming of something else like socialism.
Communism.
But for the level-headed people that get up, go to work every day, feed their family, take care of their kids, want to retire down the road. Just people that want to live an American life that everyone's always talked about. But it's slipping away. If we don't hold on to it, it's that kind of lifestyle is going to slip away. It is.
No, it is. It's on the cusp of that. Dave, like you've had your own business. You've been through several different presidents as it's gone on. What has changed? What will change for you and your business and your business model as Biden was president and now with the move to Trump? Does it truly affect your business that much? Does it affect it in taxes? Does it affect it in anything really significant?
There he is.
There he is. Go ahead.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I said purchasing power of the American citizen has changed.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, what their dollar goes for. So for my businesses, I can't charge much more than what I'm charging
for the camps and the
citizens' average day income or cost goes up, and they can't afford to do my programs, or it becomes deemed a luxury. Then that's going to be an issue. It's not too different than someone who runs a restaurant, in a sense that if the citizen does not have the extra money to go out to eat, and your costs are rising, there's only so much more you can charge for a slice.
That's what Frank was saying. Yeah.
How much more could you charge for a slice of pizza? I mean,
Frank can't. He can't.
In my area, I can't go up much more. I can't go up much more.
Yeah.
But how will it affect my business? I may be able to buy things a little cheaper, especially if energy costs go down. No tax on tips affects all my servers and my bartenders.
What about the tax on the credit cards? That always bothers me.
Interest rates on credit cards?
Well, if I pay with a credit card, it costs me more money than if I pay with cash.
Correct.
I don't like that.
Well, you know what? It's too bad, because why is I, as an owner, have to incur
a
cost because of your
You have
stupidity.
to pay $2 extra every time someone pays with a card.
$2 extra. It's just it's 3% or 3.5%, whatever on your total bill.
Right.
Well, listen, if you spend $100, it's $350.
Right. I got
But
you.
No,
Okay.
your stupidity should not be falling on my shoulders. But
I,
bottom line,
I didn't. Well, you're responsible for me, so it does.
No.
Kind of.
So bottom line, the no tax on tips, the buying power, and it'll also allow people to spend more in my store, which Dave said. Insurances. Listen, I think you're going to see a mini war on insurance companies by this administration, especially after the fires in Los Angeles, where people couldn't even get the coverage.
They got nothing. Yeah.
So now there has to be some rationality as to why insurance costs have doubled for the average citizen over the last 4 years. I mean, think about what your driver's auto insurance used to be and what it is now. Think about your homeowner's insurance, what it used to be and what it is now, from the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So what is the rationality on that? Are they paying their workers a lot more in these insurance companies? Are they paying out more in insurance claims? I don't think so. Because I know every time I got to file a claim, they got guys left and right in my place, and they're only giving me X amount of dollars instead of what my contractor says I should be getting. So there's a lot of things that the administration can do to make the average life of U.S. citizens
easier,
more comfortable.
More comfortable, right. Right. Let me ask you this, Dave. When Biden came in 2020 and he hit the ground running,
right?
What were his main initiatives? What did he start doing right off the bat? What were his goals?
He hit the ground running when he fell off the stairs of Air Force One 3 times in a row when he was going up.
Or would you say he didn't have a great plan?
Multi-gender bathrooms.
Transgender, that was a big issue.
DEI.
DEI was a big. Are you serious?
Yeah, those are huge issues.
Those were his big issues.
The environment.
Obviously he was there. He was there. Came in there during the pandemic.
Yes.
$8 billion for charging stations. We have like 12 across this country with an $8 billion budget.
Are you talking like for Teslas?
Yeah, for anything, any electric car.
$8 billion?
They had an $8 billion plan to build supercharging stations across this country.
It's the stupidest
and
thing.
And they've done I think they built like 12. Right? So where's that agenda go? How's that agenda?
And he's got
protesting, I think, was a big thing under Biden.
Well, Israel and Hamas and Ukraine.
And even before that,
Yeah. I mean, he really didn't have the best plan.
St. Floyd,
Who Floyd?
St. Floyd.
Oh, George Floyd?
Yeah.
Well, they put monuments up of him.
That's what I said. St. Floyd.
Well, I mean, that's Black Lives Matter. I mean, what are you going to do?
I don't know. There's another farce, Black Lives Matter. How about all the leaders of that group profiting with $8 to $12 million homes out on the West Coast?
Well, I mean, they had a plan and they executed it.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 of them.
They did execute on their plan. I will give them that.
They did. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well as they would have liked. But
they got outed on it. But you know what? What really happened to those people?
Well, it all got blown out of proportion, and Minnesota got burned down, and the kid in Wisconsin shot the people, and he went to trial and was found not guilty.
Right.
So it really didn't matter that much, right?
No, none of it did.
Yeah.
None of it did. When the police precinct burned down, let it burn.
Well, keep going. Yeah, that's what they wanted. They said, "Burn, baby, burn."
What they wanted was a total reversal.
They wanted
of the capitalistic thought and American process.
What was this? You're talking about
the riots.
No, the riots.
Yeah, everything in through.
I think part of the riots was a protest to what happened to George Floyd. But the problem was that it became agenda ridden, right? And so
everyone jumped on.
Yeah, but Black Lives Matter became a thing where it gave people who wanted to take advantage of the situation the opportunity to commit crimes. It gave people an opportunity to make money off of the people that were, invested in protesting against what George Floyd.
A lot of social justice warriors.
Socialist elites set that up. Remember, Dave, when they were marching through the streets in St. Paul and all that, and in Seattle, and all of a sudden they just conveniently found pallets of bricks.
Yes.
Right.
Just right in the marchway there. Pallets of bricks just dropped off at different areas, and they had organizers.
Well, they wanted to be heard.
Telling people where to go to find these pallets and how to use them and where we're going to use them.
They wanted to be heard.
My brother lived in Seattle when CHOP was going on, the city that they created.
Yeah.
Or whatever, the country within the in Seattle.
It was a country?
They declared themselves their own CHOP, they declared themselves their own country.
Right.
And they wouldn't let people in. They had guns there.
It was a tent city. They wouldn't let anybody in until people just walked in and said, "Excuse me."
So it's like David Koresh and his thing?
No. Have you seen it? We'll bring it up for you.
Well, I like David Koresh. That was a big standoff.
The Koresh thing was a sad situation.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big cult guy. I'm a cult buff. Like him and Jim Jones, I do a lot of reading on them.
Yeah, but I mean that was a situation where I'm trying to.
If they left Koresh alone, everything would have been fine.
The ATF was bored and they were tired.
You think
they had enough? They had enough of the bullshit. Yeah,
all those
they wouldn't let them sleep. They blasted music and lights, and
they had enough of them. He was defying what they asked for. That's it.
Well, he said it was sovereign ground. It wasn't part of the U.S.
There is no sovereign ground.
There's no sovereign ground.
The U.S. owns every square inch. The government owns,
except the Indians. The Indians.
The government owns that as well. Remember, they have they have the treaty rights. They gave that land to the Indians.
Oh,
they have the government owns every piece of territory
even
in
yours.
this country. Absolutely. If the state needs to widen the roads and your property is part of that plan, they come in and they take it.
Well, they buy you out, though, sometimes.
Yeah, but what if I don't want to sell?
That becomes a problem.
The state owns the land.
Yes.
The government owns your land.
Wow. They own everything. Wow.
I can't get too many good pictures without having to go to some stupid site where they make you pay something, but let me see what I can. This is not going to do.
Oh no! Just show Woodstock, Dave. A picture of Woodstock.
It was Kyle Rittenhouse was the one. He was the guy that did the shooting.
I mean, this might be good enough here. CHOP.
Oh, this is CHOP.
This is CHOP.
Oh wow!
They just took a section of a park, a city, whatever, and they enclosed it around, and they put tents everywhere, and they were living there. And people were bringing them food and supplies.
This is when they broke it up. There you go. There you go.
Holy crap!
That seems like a lot of fun.
No, I don't really understand.
The stench of ass there must have been really huge. Shower for weeks.
I don't understand it. So all these people basically said, "I don't want to be American. I want to have my own."
No, country. It was a sanctuary city inside of a sanctuary city. That's basically what it is. They were so.
Yeah.
What's that?
The cops end up going in and breaking up. But the police chief at the time, like she wanted they wanted to fight. They abandoned their police station in the chopped area, but that person wanted to not abandon. They did not want to abandon it. They were like forced. The mayor was stupid. It was just stupidity. Absolutely. Well, my point was this: my brother was living there during that time.
In CHOP or Seattle?
Seattle. But he was like a couple of blocks from CHOP. He lived downtown. And
it's a weird name, too.
During all this stuff, was when it was going on, the apartment building he was living in, they came in, they broke all the windows, and you're like, oh, they're no, they broke the windows and they went into the bottom floor of where he was like a Walmart in his building or something. They broke the windows and just stole everything. And there's no noble. It's all cloaked in nonsense. That's not noble. These things. Some of the listen. Are there people? Like I don't believe in their cause, but are there people within that cause that are maybe firmly believe whatever the nonsense they believe in. I'm sure there are. But around it is a bunch of grifters, okay? And the grifters run the show. The grifters run the show. The money that comes in goes to the grifters. The grifters run the show. Those are the people walking around with guns. And yeah, there might be some meek person in the middle there that believes, whatever, that America's doing X, Y, Z or whatever. But that's not how it works, because those people are so weak. It's the same. It still becomes a situation, even in these things. CHOP end up being run by a couple of people that were like had guns and all this stuff.
Oh, they were
Like,
militant.
what the hell? Haven't you ever read what's the book?
No, I don't read.
When we were kids, we all had to read it. It was
Lord of the Flies.
Island.
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, I got the conch. Yeah.
Everything is Lord of the Flies, dude.
Yeah, it just turned into madness.
In those kind of situations, it just becomes Lord of the Flies. That's what happens to George Floyd, right? But in the background, you got the people who run Black Lives Matter raking in the dough.
Oh, they well, yeah.
Great lie that they tell the people. We're here for you. Go out there.
No.
Get
And
yourself
they
an arrest record. Go, blah, 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 blah.
Too. Yeah, I read about it. I read about it. Yeah, Turtle Boy says it's bad. The guy said Turtle Boy. He just Black Lives Matter. He doesn't think Black Lives Matter is a good cause.
This country needs to stay the course.
Just violent.
We need to stay the course. That's all. What's happening right now, most of it is sane and makes sense.
Yes.
A couple things will get changed and will get challenged. But now what is needed with all these things that are happening is time. We need time to see how these things work.
It's got to sort out. Right.
You got these idiots online. My eggs are still high and my gas isn't cheap. No shit.
Well, it takes time.
You think it takes more than 5 days?
Yeah, it's not going to drop.
Right. So an energy agenda takes more than 5 days. A security agenda takes more than 5 days.
Right.
Everything takes more than 5 days.
Yeah.
But this has been I think a successful launch.
Yes.
The first week,
a lot of positivity
to show people that at least listen. You may not like him or you may love him, but when he's talking to you and he's telling you what he's going to do, he's going to do it. So I think
he's been very positive.
I think these are positive things for this country.
With everything,
we need to latch onto it a little bit. We need to relax a little bit. We need to stop crying a little bit in certain corners.
You said bleeding vaginas.
Yes.
Just like the song from Foreigner, I want to know what love is. It's going to take a little time.
But would you say within...
I want to know who Trump is.
I want to know what Trump is.
Within the next 6 months.
I want you to show me.
I'm not going back to Haiti. And then Tom Homan, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
I don't know who he is, but he's going back to Haiti.
But within the next 6 months, you would say we'll witness some significant changes.
Yeah, I think so. I think the 6 month period is good to see the initial launch of things. Listen, there's a lot of things at stake here right now, including the stock market.
No, huge.
So the stock market's on a pretty big bubble right now. Okay,
it crashed today, though?
It did. Well, the technology side of it did because of the Chinese AI company coming out now a lot cheaper. But that'll have its problems too. But
it already did. It got hacked today at the end.
And people saying they can't even get in it because there's not enough. There's not enough accessibility. But bottom line,
it's like called deep.
Yes. But bottom line, when you're looking at this right now, if the market takes a dive a little bit, people are going to start tacking that right onto Trump. That's going to be another one of their crutches. Oh, the market was so high with Joe Biden and we were doing so well, and now look what's happening. It's going down. No.
But then more people can buy if it's lower.
No, it can. But what you have to realize is the market under Biden came back from a 50% loss.
Yeah.
Basically during COVID.
It was awful.
The market hit a rock bottom.
Right.
So it got back to where it was and with a little bit more power. Because those are buying opportunities for everyone across the board once things straighten out. Now we're at a top again. Oh, the Nasdaq's at all-time high. The S&P's at all-time high. Dow. So we're at that top. You may see a 5-10% drop because things need to come back down to be affordable again to buy them again. But they're going to tie all that stuff in. So the agenda he has as far as trying to get inflation a little lower through energy is going to be a big push, I think, over the next 6 months to see what can be accomplished to balance out any rebalancing of the stock market. I think that's huge.
Yeah, no, I think it's huge too. I didn't know, but you would also talk about insider trading being a huge issue.
But
Nancy Pelosi
that's been
made
going
a lot
on.
of money.
That's been going on since these people have.
So there's no way to.
No, why do you think they want to sit on all these committees? I want to sit on the energy committee. I want to sit on the defense committee.
You have the insider information.
Think about it. If the government approves a military budget and they add on $100 million or $500 million or $1 billion to airspace development or whatever, or air defenses, or you'll buy Lockheed Martin. If you're on the board and you got that inside information, you just call your investor and go, hey man, let things calm down for a week or two, but buy Lockheed Martin for me. So that's why they sit on all these boards.
Right.
See, what needs to happen is this. If you're a politician, okay, you don't need to get paid $150,000 or $180,000 a year to be a House of Representative member. You need to get paid $500,000. You need to get paid $750,000, maybe $1 million, right?
But we're already at a deficit.
No, you'll save money.
You're going to save money by paying people more.
Absolutely. Because bottom line, because bottom line, you're going to give them a high salary and you're going to give them a salary with conditions.
So they don't have to.
There's no trading. You want to put your money in a Roth, or you want to put your money in some kind of a retirement fund. That's fine. You'll get a pension. You do that.
401k.
You can contribute money to that.
Okay.
But bottom line, there is no investing for you or any member of your family. Okay.
Any member of your family,
absolutely.
That's a lot to ask.
No, it's not. Because you have insider trading information every day of the year because you're in so many meetings.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right? So bottom line, give them enough salary to where they're not tempted to have to dip their hand in the cookie jar. Plus, also, if you're making this high salary, you can't pork barrel. You can't add on stuff onto every bill. Every bill needs to be individual.
Oh, the pork barreling.
And you can't take money from special interest groups.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no money to be taken.
Are special interest groups lobbyists?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So the lobbyists come and they talk to the congressman, please pass my bill.
Right.
It's going to do this, and this.
Yeah. Here's an extra ham sandwich. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's why the lobbyists get a cut of it or whatever.
They may. It all depends what their lobbying group decides. But the problem is that it's so tempting to F with America for your own personal interests, and you've got to take that away.
Right.
So there's got to be laws. There has to be laws. You're found out with any of this stuff, obviously you're going to be disbarred from doing any kind of work in Congress ever again.
Sure.
And we're going to bring charges up against you. You're going to go to jail. Automatic. And you'll see things fall in line where people will actually give a shit about this country when they go on Capitol Hill every day.
Right.
Right?
Dave, I wanted to ask you because I heard this rumor. The NCAA, college football, college basketball, had been rumored to possibly, because of all the NIL money, all the TV money, lose their status as antitrust or non-profit organization, something like that, where they would end up having to pay more money to the government. I didn't know if you heard that or if you think that would be possible or if that would be true.
Say that again.
The NCAA makes a lot of money off of now, NIL, TV revenue, and they get an exemption, antitrust, the monopolies, that sort of things. And, they save money by not having to pay as much taxes into it. So they were saying that they may do something to force them to pay more money because they're making so much money. I was curious if you thought that would be possible or if there would be a way to do it or It would
An
be
exemption on a monopoly for the NCAA.
yeah. The
Are
NCAA, the
they already a
NFL,
monopoly?
allegedly, yeah. They've got an antitrust.
So they would want an exemption for what?
No, they're saying that they would force them to pay more taxes, money on the income that's earned from television revenue and NIL, which they have not been able to before. It's the same with the
NCAA.
NFL. They lose their anti-trust.
Got it. Okay. I got what you're saying.
You look very confused.
I don't know because I just want the NCAA disbanded.
You want the NCAA disbanded?
The NCAA? Yeah.
Disbanded.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly, just gone.
At least for football.
So you think that just the conferences should run each other, or
Yes.
there should be another governing body that
collective of those conferences they appoint.
Yeah.
I think it should be this. I think it should be XYZ corporation runs football, whatever you call it. XYZ group runs basketball. XYZ group runs
You separate the non-revenue sports.
Runs all the other sports.
Oh, okay. No,
I think the NCAA is
it's passe and it's causing more problems than.
Well, if they wanted to have I think each sport could have its own organization, and football and the basketball they have their own organizations, and they could handle the specific needs of their sport a lot better. Okay, the problem is the Olympic sports. I don't know what you do there. I mean, there's nothing to say that football or basketball can't still spend for those sports.
No,
that's a university issue. To me, that's a university issue. You
want
to take 10% of football money and basketball money and spend it on the other sports and help them. Awesome. I think that's great. Not every university wants to do it or has to do it. Now, the argument is that'd be the end of a lot of
Title IX is going to be an issue, and Biden with his executive order on they're going to spread the money around with the NIL equitably. I just think it's impossible to do.
Biden made an executive order to spread money around?
Yeah. He said that the NIL money has to be equitable because of Title IX.
No, that was just they were thinking of doing that. They made that a rule.
It was done. It was done.
It was an It was
the last thing he passed.
The president passed something for NIL money?
Yeah. He says that has to
be the TV distribution money, I think it is.
Yes, the TV.
What does the president of the U.S. give a shit about that for?
He did it on the way out. That was like the last thing he did.
With the 9,000, 10,000 pardons that he gave for all his criminals?
Was say that the television revenue has to be spent equitably.
Right.
Because of Title IX.
You ever see those memes, Dave, where they say like Joe Biden on his last day of office with the pardons, and they got him with a stamper.
Yeah, that's it.
Biden Title IX issue. Yeah, stamp.
Yeah,
done.
Oh, I get this. This is Biden at the end. I get to take this home with me. Oh, this is wonderful.
What does the president give a shit about Title IX? NIL money
was put in front of him.
Who cares?
I'm sorry, it wasn't NIL money. It was television revenue.
I tell you, who cares? What does he care?
Why does he care about pardoning people?
Sinking.
Why does he care about pardoning people?
The country's sinking.
He's letting it.
It's not just him, though.
That's why I said
people around him.
They should all be investigated. They should all be thrown in jail. They knew he was incompetent, and it's kind of
entrenched in this overall Title IX with represent the gender opportunities. I'm reading here, so
they're worried about pull down
the whole thing. LBGTQ XYZ R.
Right. I'm non-binary, so I understand.
Yes, for you. Yes, so you're non-binary.
You
take your member and you put it in your own hole.
What is sexual? What does sexual preference have to do with anything in business? Now, let me tell you something.
No, it's just
If
saying
you come in,
revenue.
No, I understand that, but I don't understand why I've never gone in. I don't introduce myself. Hi, my name is.
You need to
Frank.
pay your men as the same as the women.
I'm pussy lover.
But you need to pay your males the same as the females.
Listen, that's what every company can pay their employees at whatever rate they want to pay them based on performance.
I know.
All right, or based on hatred. I don't care. That's the company. There's no equity. There's no fairness in anything.
I know.
You earn what you get.
There isn't.
You earn what you get.
He believes there should be in college athletics.
Yeah, right. Because that's what he should be worried about. He shouldn't be worried about national problems like
Ukraine,
disaster floods,
wildfires,
people not being able to. And I'm sorry for those that are really liberal, but some people cannot afford to eat and live in this country.
No,
it costs them too
much. The cost
of
living is way too high.
And if people say, "Well, get a better education," well, you know what?
Education
up yours.
Get it done.
Up yours. Some people are stuck where they are. Some people are trying to do the best that they can. Some people are trying to make ends meet by making ends meet. Okay, but it's so difficult right now in this economy and this time because inflation has run rampant through this country.
You can't function.
And it was allowed to run rampant through this country.
For years.
It was allowed for companies to take advantage of it through this country. And it was allowed for politicians to promote it throughout this country because they promoted political agendas that did nothing to help the average citizen in this country.
No, they didn't care about us.
So bottom line, you're talking about a president that gives a shit about TV money for NCAA? Who cares?
They put it in front of him. I know. That was the last thing.
That's stupidity.
Hey, Dave, I just wanted to ask you, your Boardwalk Beasts, didn't you have your tryout yesterday?
Yeah.
Your workout?
Our final tryout, yeah.
How did that go?
Oh, very good. We had a lot of good players show up.
And how many teams are you going to have?
It looks like from U8 to U18, we'll probably have.
Wow.
We'll have one U8, probably one U9, probably two U10s, three U11s. I think two U12s. I think one U13, one U14, one U15. Oh no, I'm sorry, two U15s and one U18. And
you got that big of a turnout, and there's coaches for every one of these teams. And now, do you all travel together and play in the same tournaments?
We played a couple of tournaments all together, but they kind of have different kind of tournaments.
Yeah. And are you coaching your son's team?
I'm doing my son's team, and then I'll help with the older guys.
And you oversee the whole program, right?
Yeah, I used to coach U18, U15, everything, but I have guys out that can kind of, if they're not there, I'll coach it. The team, outright. But if they're there, I'll let them coach it.
And have you scheduled your first camp?
I did, yes.
When's your first camp?
March 1.
Oh, it's March 1st?
Yeah.
Is it in Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
It's going to be in Jackson, New Jersey.
All right. Frank and I will come down to it. I'm going to come down. We come work. I want to work the camp.
Sure.
Yeah, we come work the camp.
Yeah. I could be a wide receiver coach or a D-back coach. Yeah. That's my specialty.
Yeah, we'll do it all. We'll do it all. So, another spirited
Ernie
Rebel Republic.
Pete Hexeth.
Spirited episode.
Pete Hexeth got confirmed,
Who?
Pete Hexeth.
I saw that, yes.
Who's that?
Holy shit.
Who's Pete Hexeth?
Close it up. Suck Ernie's balls and let's go.
No, I don't. I want to know who Pete Hexon is.
Pete Hexeth.
Who is he?
He's the new Secretary of Defense.
Oh, that's a good thing. Good. Yeah. Good. Okay.
I think Christy Noem's coming up, right?
I love Noem. We love Noem. We love Noem. She looks good. Again, I have to extend my apologies to Dominic Tripp. Dominic, he's a friend of mine from high school. Dominic, I'm 100% accountable and responsible for my actions a few years ago. I was a terrible person. I was an asshole, and I wronged you and everyone around me, and I made it difficult to be around me. and I don't want to live my life alone. And if you would have a conversation with me and be my friend, I would appreciate it. I will tell you anything you want to know. I am sorry for what I've done. I am sorry for being a lying, manipulative prick.
Shouldn't this be done over a telephone, maybe one-on-one?
What is going on
I
here?
don't understand.
I'm apologizing. Everyone hates me.
Call him up
Everyone
and
hates
apologize. Stop using this
won't take my
forum.
call.
He won't take your calls. Then he don't want to speak to you no more.
I told him I would prove to him I was serious by putting it on this forum.
Obviously, he doesn't care if he's not taking your calls. He doesn't even know this is on the forum.
No, he cares.
He does. No,
he cares.
No, he wants nothing to do with you anymore.
He does.
He's the secretary of invisible.
What did you do?
I did a lot. I did a lot of bad things. but it was 3 years ago. So that's my point.
I have people that won't talk to me.
Right.
I'm apologizing to them.
And who cares?
It was 3 years ago. I think if you give me a chance to talk now,
he doesn't want to. He doesn't like you.
You don't know that.
I don't know that. He's not here.
You don't know that.
He would have called in.
He would have called
in. He would have called in.
I love. Thank you for your support. You've both been so supportive. I appreciate
supportive?
You're very supportive.
You're spilling your guts out like a wet vagina.
I have
Tighten
to.
it up.
I'm trying to apologize.
Tighten it up.
I'm trying to apologize.
Not apology. You don't need to apologize.
It's important.
You extend a hand to the man. If he wants to be your friend, to be your friend. If not, it is what it is.
No, I know.
You can't come over here and just suck off somebody in two different shows.
Well, I have to. I have
10 minutes of time.
I have to.
It's a rebel republic.
I have to show
you're either with us or you're not.
You're either with us. Show them how important.
Steve, you're either with us or you're not.
And that's
being an apologetic wimp is not.
I know. Christy already told me.
Right.
I should have never apologized.
Right. He's right.
Yeah, he is right.
So what the hell are you doing?
He is right.
Why don't you listen to people for once?
He is. I know, but I had to do what I felt was right in my heart.
It was wrong.
I was very empathetic.
It was empathetic.
Very empathetic.
You're not empathetic?
Very empathetic.
Oh, bullshit.
Very empathetic.
Stop.
I am. I'm a bleeding.
This guy will never call you again.
No, he
doesn't want to be friends with you.
No, I know he doesn't.
You're weak.
No,
look
I'm
what
weak.
you've done now tonight.
I'm weak.
You're putting Dave to sleep.
I know. I'm weak. I'm putting Dave to sleep. So who
else are you going to apologize to tonight?
For the voice of reason, Frank Cristiano.
I want you to apologize to Ernie right now.
Ernie, thank you so much. You're the best.
That's not an apology.
We're
sorry for bringing you a suckhole show, Ernie.
Dave, I'm sorry.
He's whining and crying.
This has been an amazing show. An amazing show.
No.
The greatest ever.
Awful.
The greatest ever. So for the voice of reason.
What a turd.
And
how can you be like this sitting next to me?
I have to do what's right.
I want to hang around strong people with strong opinions of mine.
I am strong.
You're not. You just broke down.
I'll shit on your table.
You just broke down. That doesn't show
I
you're strong.
break down.
If you shit on his table, you would have to come on here next week and apologize.
I apologize. Everyone's mad at me. I apologize. I did the right thing.
I don't. You'll be broadcasting from your basement. I'm sorry to Frank. Just want to apologize for taking the shit on his table. And I know I did wrong there, and I know I've done bad.
You be my friend.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Well, hopefully that guy's your friend again. That's all.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Why don't you take 2 oranges and throw them at him and see if he'll be your friend?
No, we're not going to do that.
No, or shove 2 lemons up his ass. He'll love you. No, that's not going to work either.
No, we're not going to do that. I'm going to order the Sicilian pizza.
Yeah, you should.
I like the Sicilian.
Yeah. So the voice of reason, I appreciate all his kindness.
Yep.
And Coach Schuman, great to see you. And we got Joe D on Wednesday. That's going to be fun. He's going to have a lot to say. And for 97.9 Unity Radio, remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.